Right, back. So I'll just get straight into it, people, because I want to get this done. So first and foremost, I'm just going to show the destinations, the distances, the elevations, and I'm going to show the elevations of the land masses that we are looking at. So let me get my screen share. Maps. Yeah, okay. So clean measurement. Okay, so the first destination, again, I know that people have heard this, but I haven't go through it again. First destination is here, just at this point here. Okay, as I pointed out before again, just going to have a wee scroll through here. Different day, Ailsa Rock clearly visible. The elevation of that point and the height of the camera on the Google mapping van is not going to be that much different. You know, we were here, so the tripod had an elevation of 2 feet. So that's the first destination. The second destination is here. Oh, nearly done it again. I'm at the right place here. Aye. So this is where we parked and we walked down onto the beach here. So we're looking here at the rock again, and also the peninsula here that you're going to see in the observations, which reaches out to Stranraer. So these are the two destinations that we were at. So elevation finder, I found my original one. This one's a wee bit better because we can get right in and pinpoint exactly where we were. So here, so we're seeing here at the bottom 1.2 meters or 3.9 feet. So we'll add the 2 feet of the height of the tripod and the camera, so 6 feet. So that's the first destination. The distance. Distance. There we are, 62.66 this time, so it's kilometres. We get that right. 62.66. So 38.9 miles. Right. Earth calculator. 38.9. 6 feet. 38.9. Calculate 859 feet. Okay. So that is for observation 1. Observation 2, which is from this point. Let's get an elevation on that. where I'm at here. So we've got 2.6 or 8 point. I don't think that's the right place. Hang on a wee minute. Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, I've lost my elevation finder. Such a fidgety pain in the arse, this stuff, honestly. So we'll go water side. So anywhere here. Still in the right place. Right, I'm going to have to identify how to pinpoint this point exactly so that I can get the exact height of where we were. So wait a wee minute. Get back to that. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing right. So if we're down here at the sea, there is no way it's 12 feet. It keeps pointing to up here at the road. It must be. So I must not be at the right position. The water side, what is that? See, no hydro. Right. So even if we're generous and we say, right, fine, we were at 8 feet, which we were not 8 feet because we're right down on the beach, and the camera, the tripod's at 2 feet of elevation. So there's a discrepancy there. I have to pinpoint exactly. I need to match up with the Google Maps or the Street View and this here to find exactly where we were. So we'll just say, we'll be generous and we'll say 8 feet, right? So that's fine, 8 feet. Maps, right. So we're saying we're here at Seamill, so we'll say that. Measure distance. So that furthest point that we're seeing there is 75.5 kilometres. 46 miles. So the first one was 859 feet. Hang on, I'll just open another one up here. So we're saying a generous 8 feet to this, although it's no. And the distance was miles, 46.9. Right, there we go. We're at 8 feet, 46.9, 1200 feet curvature. Right. So again, I'm going to go back to the elevation finder. And I'm going to come across to the landmass here, and I'm just going to randomly dot it. So that first one, it's saying it's a height of 125 feet, 317 feet, 682, 777, 500, 400, 337, 605, 703, 480, 700, 770, 700 again. Right, there's a maximum point there of 1455 feet. So the curvature is 1200 that should be missing, so we should really be seeing the tip of this highest point here, and that is about all. Okay, so huge distances. I think I've covered the location and the distance and the elevations, so let's now go to the footage. I'm going to skip it along here till we get to the first observation point, which is in Largs. So you can see here where we are. Get it?
Yeah.
Now, there is the rock. Now, the important thing to notice here is this reflection here, people. Okay? Hugely significant, hugely important. You're seeing the reflection of the rock because the water is continuing all the way, but because of this band, the optical effect that we don't have an exacting science for here, because our vision is limited and the sky is being reflected on the water, right? Same as the rock is being reflected on the water. So we can see up to this point, which would be our horizon, and then beyond that, we're having serious problems. I mean, you can see other objects here in this band, right? But the important thing is the contours of the rock and the reflection on the bottom of it. Now, that rock is only 1,100 feet in height. So the calculation for that distance was 800 feet, 800 odd feet. So really, you should be seeing about that much. The obstruction should be away up here, right? And that is beyond. So you're not looking beyond a curve where the rock is being refracted up into your visual range, horizontal, perfect for you, and displaying a reflection. Okay? Solids display reflections. Mirages and imaginary invisible stuffs do not. So the huge significant aspect to that is the reflection that you're seeing on the water that's leading all the way up to it. All right?
Excellent.
So that's the first observation from Largs to Ailsa Rock.
Right now, I think we must be a bit even more than that, actually. Good stuff.
As I showed the Google Street View, they managed to capture the rock, and many people see it continually. Along this coast, when you get to Ayr, and some of the destinations along here, I've spoken to people that say on the right conditions, they can see Ireland, which is a huge distance. I think it's about 100 kilometres from Ayr to the coast of Ireland, and people can see it from the ground, from the shore, right? So this is the second destination. You can see how low down we are here, right? But I was generous and gave it 8 feet. So we can see the rock here, but this observation is not the one I want people to focus on. It's when we cut across to the peninsula. Again, you can see the reflection here.
Yeah.
And here's the important parts as well. So remember the elevations I showed of this whole area up to this far point, the highest being 1,400 feet, which is all you should see. I mean, here you're seeing the wind farms.
Wind turbines.
So if I just go back to before we scan it. Right, just a wee second here. Oh, what?
I wanted to show you how we created our amazing new website. Now we know that.
Excuse me. You can see the landmass here, stretching all the way across. Remember, you shouldn't be seeing any of this. Highest point here somewhere or here, but we're saying 1,400 feet is all you should see. You shouldn't be seeing any of this. Absolutely none of it. Okay, you should be gone. Right. Now, I don't want to keep going over and over on it, people. As I said, you know, first and foremost, see this stuff here. This substance that's abundant on Earth that we know and that we can test its physical properties and its behaviours, and everybody can do so. We know that from this landmass to that landmass, this substance in between here is at the same elevation. It levels out. The substance does not have the capabilities to hold itself and display convexity upon its surface. It is level from here to here, from here to here, and from here to any other landmass that's way beyond. The body of water is level. All right? That is a fact, fundamental fact. The optics are always going to be playing a role. It is something that we do not have an exacting science for, but what you can, you know, take from this is that none of this should be visible. The rock from Largs, you should only be able to see the top 150 feet of. When you cannot, you can see the whole thing and you can see it reflecting in the water underneath it. There is no excuses that anybody can come up with. Right? No amount of equations and wishful thinking is ever going to change the fact that the substance from there to there is level, and that we are actually seeing things that are actually there. And the tens of thousands of people who live all along this coastal route see these things just about every single day. And in the right conditions, they can see all the way across the island. So let's have a wee look at Google Maps. So we're talking about here. So we'll clear the measurement. Measure distance. And we'll go to the closest point. There, I was bang on, just about 100 kilometres, right? So nobody should be seeing any of that. That should be way gone on your imaginary ball, imaginary curves. All this blue stuff here for the, you know, mentally challenged out there. I suggest that you understand this substance that's here, this abundant substance that from each point to other point of landmass is level from one point to the other. That's its behaviour. And you are so tiny in comparison to these vast distances. You are being obscured by all sorts of atmospheric conditions and limited perspective because you're tiny. Right? But you can be guaranteed that across each point from one landmass to the other, this abundant blue stuff known as water is level. Okay? So Let's see what they're going to have to say about any of that. I think I've covered all I need to. Is there anything do you think I missed there, Marshall?
No, I think that's covered the relevant points. I get some terrible feedback in. Yeah, sorry if I'm a bit vague, dude. I'm trying to keep up with the chat box and it's running fast. You know?
Right, stop sharing. So, what have we got to say about this? What is being said about it?
Again, though, that the video you just played is now available for scrutiny, is it?
Yep.
Right. Well, there you go, ballers. Take that one apart, mate.
Well, they're only going to have idiotic equations and rhetoric. Nothing substantial, nothing practical. Have the ball trolls went quiet?
Yeah, subtler games being played out here today, mate. And Brenda's back again. Look, where's the video? The video's on this channel, Brenda.
Brenda, I've just shown it. I just showed it, Brenda. See that big red line that's at the bottom of the screen? Just pull it back till you see the observations. Hurry up, scroll and let us know what your reality denying response is going to be.
Oh, Dave Hinkle's saying he's going to mirror the video, dudes, and encourage other people to do the same. Yeah, please do, Dave.
Excellent.
Obviously, it is there for scrutiny.
There you go. Right, well, that's about it, people. I just wanted to get that shared, and then I'm going to edit these wee end bits here and stick it up on the main channel as well. So stop accepting these clowns. They're just that. They're clowns. Right? You're not going to explain away actual observations of things that you shouldn't be seeing, right? By invoking, refraction and all your crap. It's not going to work. Hootube, exactly. I mean, this is the other factors. Oceans, in comparison to people, are massive. And, a slight swell in an ocean is going to tower above a human being. And that is just a small swell or small waves. People need to take scale into consideration that the oceans in these bodies of water are humongous in comparison to you, right? So, even when you go for a swim in the sea, right, and you're on your lilo, and you're in with your face at the water and there's waves, somebody that's 5 meters away from you is going to be obscured by a wave, right? Because that's what happens when you're tiny in comparison to huge bodies of water. So, when we get the conditions right, and there isn't a huge swell and loads of wind making waves, we can see things. And they are actually there. They're no imaginary. They're no mirages. They are real. They are actual observations of things that are actually there. I know that hurts some reality denying fantasists, but reality is not going to change and bend to your will, I'm afraid. Richard Lee Buck, I'm a 5'5" giant. Well, YouTube, a tiny wave could block, loads of things if you're right down at it. A wee tiny wave will block, something that's 5-10 meters away. I'm getting a wee phone call here. I'm just going to answer it. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Odell.
Hi, speaking.
How you doing? You still alive, mate?
I'm still alive.
I did the same observation with the camera on the beach, mate. It's a bang on.
Yeah, exactly. What one did you take? The Largs to Ailsa, or?
I did Largs, Seamill, Girvan, the whole coast.
Yeah, and I take it you get the same results. You could see them.
Aye, no problem. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy, how you doing?
I'll get it up to you, and then because it's a no-brainer now. It's not. I mean, it's unbelievable. But it's just a phone in, just to let people know that other people are doing the same
Observations.
The same camera set. Well, the only difference for you, you were up. Let's say, I think we said we were 3 meters. I was camera flat on the beach.
Well, were you? So even
sand,
even lower observations, elevation. Then nice one. Did you get Stranraer from Seamill? Did you see that whole peninsula as well?
And I just concentrated on the Ailsa Craig.
Ailsa Craig. Have a wee look in your footage. Maybe you did capture it and you didn't realise.
I probably have.
That'd be interesting to see.
Right, no
nice
problem.
one.
I'll get back in touch with him. I'll get that up to you because I've got plenty of footage.
Nice one, Jimmy. That'd be excellent, mate. Excellent.
Okay.
Cheers, bud.
Yeah, well, cheers.
Take it easy, man. Cheers, bud. So there you have it, people. Somebody else going to the same places and seeing the same things. So, and as I say, you know, you've got Google Earth there, you know, from the street view, capturing the rock. You know what I mean? Dan from Newcastle, you got the notification. Ah, nice one. So that's about it, people. Scattered view. Do I work on many construction sites? I'm going to start videotaping questions that I ask other trades about where we are. Excellent. That'd be fantastic. It's something I've tried a few times, but if you're one of the crew, it'll be easier for you to get them to, you know, answer some questions on camera. You know, I've tried it a few times, but they're obviously busy and you're an outsider, so I think they worry that they're just getting the piss taken at them when somebody shows up with a camera. So that'd be excellent. Jacqua, no problem. Cheers for coming. Boomer, still hard to believe we all fell for the globe shit when it's so obvious with observable reality. Exactly. You know, Tony Dixon, how you doing, man? Heavy metal ruined my life. Certainly is dead. It's just a matter of making the funeral arrangements for it. You know?
I've got Steve H. Viewer saying I've got a picture of a power plant near Saltcoats from Broderick on the Isle of Arran. And now I wouldn't know the geography there too, because that's a distance, obviously.
Isle of Arran, where did they say it was?
The power plant on near Saltcoats.
Power plant near Saltcoats. It just depends on whereabouts in Arran he was, but I'd be really interested to see those results. Well, the shortest crossing I can see is clear measurement from Saltcoats to the nearest point on Arran is 20 kilometres. So it'd be interesting to know what part of Arran you were on when you got them. But at that, you know, it's still 20 kilometres, so there's still going to be supposed curvature there that obviously is not. So that's excellent. It's good to hear that other people have got the other footage. And please, people, if you don't have an outlet for the footage, by all means, let me have it, and I'll present it. So.
If people are interested in having any of their video hosted, they just drop a mail to nocurve@gmx.com and we'll get organised with that. I'll talk afterwards, Dad, about how you want to manage this. But
Brenda, how do we know we aren't seeing the Isle of Arran? It's very simple, Brenda. If you can gather your directional, you know, capabilities, from where we are, and we're looking at the rock, which is there. Right, Arran is to the right of it. Stranraer is to the left. There is no way to fuck it up, Brenda. Unless you're going to come up with some imaginary nonsense that flip-flop the islands. And that's Aaron. Stop clutching at straws, you moron. I don't want to keep calling you names, but you keep coming at me, and your stupidity is fucking astounding. It's very clear that you're only here to represent your cult and want to deny all reality that goes against your cult teachings. Sorry, we don't buy it anymore. Reality wins. Your religion loses. Toodle on, tatty buys. Never mind your sophist questioning. How do we know it's not Aaron? Focus on the subject at hand, Brenda. I'm showing you observations that you shouldn't be seeing. Shouldn't be seeing. But you're seeing them. Deal with it. Same as every other, moron out there that wants to desperately cling to a religious idea. Based on cartoons and images. Brian Watson, any cults recruiting at all? Well, there's loads of people jumping ship from the Globe cult. There's plenty of empty spaces. It's pretty easy to get in. All you need to do is repeat from Wikipedia and ignore all reality. If you can do that, you'll be a great member in addition to the dying Globe cult. Split second, some geek proved the earth was round thanks to some stick in the ground. I know. 2,000 years ago, a guy in a stick. That's when you know you're dealing with a cult. 2,000 years ago, some guy that we love, an idol, put a stick in the ground in shadows and stuff. And 200 years ago, a guy put lead balls in his shed and can weigh the moon and the sun and the whole universe. Aye. 2 lead balls in a shed hanging from the roof on a coat hanger. Aye. I now can calculate the weight of the moon. Ach, let them throw, Davy. That's all they have. Reality deniers. As I say, the observations speak for themselves. They're only now going to show themselves up to be absolute, incapable, incompetent, reality-denying, corrupt, mentally retarded, mentally ill, mentally unstable individuals. That's it. One man he's detected it wasn't a stick, it was a magic wand. It must have been. I think he passed it on to Henry Cavendish. Hi, Tets Truth Tube, how you doing, man? Nice to see you there. Another channel people should check out. Tets Truth Tube. I'm only hanging on here for gloating purposes. I just want to rip the piss out of them. That's about it. I need to learn to know when to finish. Bobby, I can weigh the moon with my left testicle. Did you use a coat hanger? A coat hanger is hugely important. Did you use machine metalled parts, which creates magnetism that affects your experiment? You need to be careful of that as well. Right? Or you could just ignore all the factors, just ignore them and believe in a religious story from 200 years ago. Guy in a shed. So guys in sheds, you shouldn't listen to guys in sheds apparently, but when it comes to Henry Cavendish, oh no. His shed was magic. What about the guys that invented aeroplanes from their shed? Nah, ignore that. Guys in sheds, nah. Nothing was ever invented or anything beneficial was ever created in a shed. Nah, no way. It all came from institutions by way of magic with wands and stuff. Frank, you know, Dale, they have no answer to your video. Of course they don't. They're just going to keep focusing on other flimsy observations that are no clear cut, you know, that they can cherry pick and try and create some sort of debate out of. They'll ignore this one. It's a certainty. Helena Browser, what is to the south? Who knows? We don't know what's there and we don't know what's north. We are restricted from, you know, certain degrees north and certain degrees south. There is no free roaming in certain areas. Yellow Submarine, great point. Harley Davidson in a shed. Gasper Limited, what is going on? Can anyone see or hear Dell? Obviously, people are getting different things happening here, where people are hearing me and other people are not hearing me for whatever reason. Pete Shee, Dell, can you weigh your balls in your shed? As at least they're beginning towards repeating Cavendish. I don't know if there's any metals or weighing instrument that's strong enough, Pete. I think the metal has yet to be discovered that can weigh my balls. Brenda, you're no blocked, you moron. We can see your fucking comment. What are you talking about, you absolute spastic? Dale Shed in Glasgow Museum. It will not last that long. I'm getting the new one soon, so this will be getting taken apart.
Souvenirs will be available.
Weird Science, you're an arm muppet. I seen you in that fake debate crap. Meet me in Paisley and I'll show you the earth's not flat, it's a round testicle. Where are you, Weird Science? Where are you? Balls of kryptonite, yes. Helena Browser, what are you talking about, patrols? You're talking about ice walls, Helena Browser. We don't claim ice walls, so take your retarded strawman crap elsewhere. It's not going to wash here. Get a grip. Is there still muppets out there that are bringing us strawman pish? Stop listening to mainstream narratives. That's what's wrong with you. Engage with actual real people and find out what they're actually saying. Chris Hayes, Dale can't get them two tunes you guys made out of my head driving home to just now. They were great. Credit to Marshall and Steve mainly for those music videos. I really never contributed much at all apart from what I say.
We got somebody trying to dox you in the fucking chat box. Weird Science.
Aye.
You're banned.
Well, no, the leave it, prick. Everybody knows where I live. Does he think he's revealing something profound? What a fucking moron. What an absolute moron. Chat the door. Shut up, Timothy Osmond. You're just a fucking plastic arsewipe. You're just a waste of breath, wee sacks. Fuck off, criminal dipshit. I think you're a kiddie fiddler or something, you wee moron. Right, piss off. The likes of you are no welcome here. Okay, creepy. Fuck off. Sheeps and Neeps, my internet gets stopped. No connection. I was mirroring your stream. Seriously, something I missed. Still can't restream. Fun and fucking games. Exactly, Des. There's people saying it here as well that some of them are hearing the sound and some are not getting the sound for whatever reason. Yeah, fuck them. I know, I'm done. I'm walking away from this. I'm going to snipe people's because I can't win, because they're much smarter than me. So I'm going to snipe their hangout and I'm going to play porn and get them a copyright strike because I'm an underhanded, sneaky, snidey, snivelling little rodent that cuts about the undergrowth thinking that I'm something special when you're no. I'm done. I'm walking away from this. I've been at it 2 years, speaking with people who I profess are retards. And I've been bashing my head off a wall for 2 years, and I'm continually going to say that I'm done with it. And then the very next minute, I'm back again because I don't have my own mind. I don't have my own will. I am under duress because I'm a spastic. Well, Jimmy Lee, whatever he's, I mean, it is quite the accusation, but, I'm surmising based on the behaviours. The character's obviously under duress for whatever, and he's a sneaky, snidey, underhanded little gimp that has shown that. Now, they traits, are the worst of the worst. So I really don't know what that chap is capable of. I wouldn't put a cap on his capabilities, right? So if he wants to cross the line with me and be snidey and bad with me, then I'm just going to return it. Okay, I don't have any empathy for him. Fuck him. Did you miss that he sniped to hang out and played porn on it to get us a copyright strike, which is why we've got another channel for lives? Did you miss that bit? What about the countless other snipes and underhanded behaviour that's going on with these characters? Never mind that. You said he was your peto. Oh, booty fucking hoody hoo. Never mind these weird signs and all these clowns. They're just faceless gimps, spineless little shite bags. That's what they are. They'll never show face. They'll never man up. They'll just hide in the undergrowth, firing peas at you at their wee shitty dart pea shooter. Right? Because they're no men. They don't have heart. They don't have integrity. They're not brave. Spineless. I've got a lot of editing to do here. I think I'll need to edit out a good portion of this, methinks. Exactly, Marilyn Wisby.
Well, despite this Helena browser actually being a sock account and not serious, I'm going to answer the question. What type of restrictions to the north and south? Please tell me what you know in case it's true. Well, there is the Arctic and the Antarctic treaties. Go look it up. Okay, in fact, I'm going to time you out because I'm bored with hearing it.
I mean, this is the thing as well. I mean, people think that they're just free to roam anywhere. Are you not aware of border controls? Are you not aware that you require a fucking passport to travel from one area to the other, and that it's all controlled? Are you not aware of these things? Is it that much of a stretch for your mind, the capacity of your mind to accept? Do you think we can just freely roam about willy-nilly? I think you really need to slap yourself and wake up to the reality you're living in here, right? Cheers, Flat Earth Underground. And calling these people names, they are sock accounts with different names. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows their real name, right? So you can call a faceless potato whatever you like. They don't have any identity. I don't recognise them as having any identity because they're sneaky, hiding in the undergrowth. I agree, Jay. It does. It skews it. Chris MCML, I see you on these debate things. Another West Coast Scottish guy. You just waffle shite, mate. A reality denying turd, right? That does fuck all but deny reality and come up with pseudoscience and equations and explanations. Where are you, big guy? Eh? I've been calling for some globe believer to show up face to face, have an actual discussion, film it, show the fucking proofs, all the practical proofs of all your claims that you're making. Where are you? Eh? Shed Rage, oh, there's a new one. Oh, Shed Rage, oh, I'm so original and so funny. Where are you, dick sniffer? Hanging about fucking Oakley's wee cesspit of delusion and derpism. Huh? Oh, I'm such a big guy. Oh, I'm engaging here. Fuck off. Shut up, Brenda. It's because I'm not engaging with absolute fucking mongs like you. Right? Because I've not got any patience for stupidity. Says the Polish Firefighter Dell, there's 2 comments from Globe Fanatics regards to the observation on my channel. You might want to read them just now. Let's have a wee look. Go to channel. Let's see Wide Awake's there. Another channel people need to check out for observations is Wide Awake, who has been doing a lot of them recently. Well worth having a look, people. So how we're looking at Quantum. The distance to the horizon for that rock is 43.9 miles if your eyes are on the water and 47.1 miles if you're standing with your feet in the water. You're not at the water's edge, so there is an additional amount of elevation for your camera, so the distance will vary. The island cannot be seen all the way to the water. It's reflecting on the water underneath it. Come on. What about the water? Some type of white mist. Some type. Nothing specific, just some type of white mist. Interrupts the rock, outcropping on the sides. You can see the shimmer of haze and the black object, blah, 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 blah. Also of interest is the beach that goes around the island is not visible even when you zoom in. Yes, that's because if you, I don't know if you noticed, but see when we showed you all the way up to the rock, there comes a point where you can't distinguish the water, right? That's the optical phenomena that there is no exacting science for, right? What you should be focused on is that you can actually see the rock and you can see the reflection of the rock in the water in front of it. Remember, you're talking about 880 feet of curvature, that it should be beyond there. So you shouldn't be seeing the water, the bendy water in front of the rock to see the reflection. Don't be so stupid. Oh, here we've got a cracker here. The Phaneron. Water naturally bends. Does it? If you had a massive levity, here we go, we're already into imagination, fantasy land. If you had a massive levitating mound of dirt, I mean, the mental gymnastics that these people go through in order to, you know, maintain a flimsy, pseudoscientific religious belief is incredible. So we're having to imagine a levitating mound of dirt here, okay, people? Stick with it. In the general shape of a ball. In order to make it level, you would have to remove all the inconsistencies, bulges and valleys on its surface. Level, what are you talking about? You have to define level. Level is defined by substance. Level means no deviation in elevation from one point to the other. Level. You have to rework that and change the axiom in your assumptions to some mathematical jargon and explain level low in a bendy round ball without anything practical. So already, you know, this comment's massive, but this clown, I can see it highlighted. Water curves, water not only curves, water. I don't even know if I want to read this. It's going to make me lose the will to live, Dan, to be honest with you. Surface, thus resulting in a perfect globe with a smooth level surface. Level is not synonymous with flat on Earth. There we go, redefining it. This is a problem. What is your definitions? What are they based upon? Are they based upon facts? Are they based upon practical demonstrations? Or are they just based on mathematical axioms that you're just plucking from thin air and making them fit your religious bias? The quantification and operational definitions are vastly different. All we mean by water always finds its level is that water at sea level seeks and maintains a consistent altitude all around the circumference of the globe and curvature, blah, 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 blah. We know what you mean. Right. We know the explanations, but that's not practical. Water doesn't behave like that. You can't wrap bodies of water around objects, I'm afraid. You're not talking about actual science, natural sciences. You're talking about mathematics, formal science, language, where you can make stuff up, make fantasies up, and give it equations and explanations, and it works as a fantasy, but has no direct relation to actual reality. That's the difference. So I'm not going to bother reading any of that, Dan. I would just ignore them. Right. What have we got happening here in the chat now? Water takes whatever shape another force pushes it into. Show me it, Brenda. Go and get a potato rock in a vacuum and bend an ocean around it. Hurry up. This will be their approach. They'll try and tie you into linguistic bullshit mental gymnastics rather than just dealing with the factual, actual observations that I've just shown. Brian Fury, water bends coming out my car. It's the only place. Oops. Chat's jumping. Pat Mustard, can someone block this? Or just laugh at them. Pat, honestly. Just don't even get involved with them. Just rip the piss out of them and laugh at their absurd idiocy. Exactly, Teddy boy. Water is shapeless, it is formless. Hey Gav, Vortex Pup, how you doing, Gav? Don't know, Gav, you want to jump in? You have something to say on any of this? Let me know in the chat box there if you have. Well said, Diz. Yeah, Spurs Chemo, exactly. That is who his father is. Right, again the number if anybody wants to phone. Let's hear, Brenda, phone me. 07393 654 544. Jobby chaser, Brian Marbot. Gav, if you've messaged me, I'm signed out of the Mother account, so I'm not going to get it. You need to let me know in the chat here.
Link's been sent up.
Oh, cool.
Gav's going to pop in maybe a few minutes, mate. Sorry.
Go. Jamie Craig, is reality a simulation, do you think? Well, it depends what people mean by simulation. Obviously, it's designed, it's created. So any construct within any environment is not a natural thing. So, it just depends what people mean by this simulation. I get this image in my mind that people think we're connected up in some pod somewhere with a virtual reality helmet on and we're all in here experiencing it. Might be fucking true, but, I think it just gets a wee bit idiotic, some of these ideas of simulation. But it's certainly no reality, in regards to the bigger picture, because it's a construct. And just like if you construct anything here in what you call reality right now, you know that it's not natural, it's been created. So if you were inside that, you wouldn't be saying, "Oh, this is a natural world." It's a construct. It's existing in some larger environment that we're just not aware of right now. So I'm very cautious of simulation. AI, carry on, man. It's data collection. People talk about AI as if, AI is going to have consciousness. It's just all bullshit. They don't even know what consciousness is. They can't pinpoint it. They can't recreate it. It's just all crap. Whatever any machine's capabilities are, it has been programmed and allowed to do so. It's not a sentient, conscious being. I don't know if that's what you meant, but. You need a simulation for your sky? What are you talking about? Simulation for your sky?
I've asked for clarification of that statement. I will see what turns up.
Eddie Kavanagh, write programs and that's 100% true. The AI equals bollocks. Exactly. Its capabilities is only going to be what a human mind allows and programs into it. That's it. It's never going to be a conscious entity. Oh, phone lit up there. I don't know if I missed a call. I've got messages. Hey, hope you're well. Are you live tomorrow, Dale? No, I'll be live on Saturday. My gran lived in Ardrossan and I could see Arran from the harbour and from South Beach without a camera in the summer, and that was 30 odd years ago. Exactly, Stuart. As I say, there's many people that I've spoken to down that area, Girvan, Ayr, Largs, and people have seen Ireland for years. People see it, Dale, I'm interested to see if you'd be up for appearing on TV at some point. Surely we can all pressure a channel to get you on. Keep it up, mate. I've been contacted by a few. There's a few people, there's some, documentary makers and stuff like that have contacted me, but I'm very cautious. These people and what their actual games are. So if I do engage in anything, it will be, my rules, and I'll be videotaping the whole escapade, just in case they're that devious nonsense. Have we had any of them with, other than trolling, have any of them come back with anything actual, articulated or any type of response whatsoever?
Well, none is the short answer. But they'll have the opportunity again on Saturday. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Harry Growler, AI is only possible when state curriculum is used as a reference point. It's a joke, laughing at the slaves with their artificial intelligence. Exactly, man. How you doing, Gav? You alright?
Aye, good here, man. Yourself?
Aye, alright, mate. Alright. What you making of that stuff?
Oh, the observations.
Aye.
I know, good stuff. I mean, there's so many of them, you know, out there. Huh? I've seen enough myself in my time, right, of things that you couldn't possibly, you know, be allowed to see, and you can see fucking clearly and fine, you know. So
Yeah.
And as the caller said as well, you know, there's so many people repeating these observations up and down the coast, at least, you know.
Yeah.
So there's no denying it, you know. The globe's dead in the water. So.
Literally.
Dead in the water. Lying face down, drowned. You know?
Well,
sorry.
No, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, and as you pointed out many a time, this difference between visibles and tangibles, you know, the idea that people can, you know, play on visible phenomena, right, without quite understanding any differentiation between the two, right? I mean, it's a well-known scientific fact, right, that there is a difference between visibles and tangibles. It's been discussed for 300 years, right? But globe truthers never go there, right? They don't want to talk about these things in any way, right? They'll avoid that at all costs, you know, because they know their argument will fall in its face, you know. So
exactly, it's just all part of the sophism, you know, avoiding things that are detrimental to their, you know, their bias.
Yep.
Yeah.
To say they want to, how should I say, come to first principles and talk about stuff that, you know, needs to be discussed at the bottom level, you know.
Yeah.
They'll just avoid that argument that we come to a common understanding, because they know if they start there as well, they'll lose too, you know. So they have to keep confounding the situation, you know, changing their assumptions or axioms, all that stuff, you know. So we know all that. It's getting boring, isn't it?
Exactly. But as I say, you know, they play the repetitive game. So unfortunately for us, you know, we have to keep playing the repetitive game as well. You know, it just seems to be the nature of it. So
agreed. Yeah, it's a war for attention, isn't it? So
aye, and it is. It's tedious and it's boring. You know, and you're repeating and having to deal with them. But as I say, I'll never get tired of you know, ripping the piss out of stupidity. You know, if they want to keep bringing me stupidity for me to rip the piss out it and have a laugh, then who am I to
what
deny?
can you do? Aye, exactly. You'd be an unkind fellow to deny them that ridiculous.
Must be masochists, you know, the like, you know, being afflicted by abuse and banter, you know.
Yeah. And they keep coming up with more sock accounts, innit? You know, I don't think there's that many of them, you know. They've just got all these multiple accounts and a bit of automation, you know. That's all they've got. They've certainly got the intelligence, you know. Most of them have got the charisma of battery hens, you know. When they start to come out with their sophist bullshit, it's just laughable, really, isn't it?
I would give a battery hen a cuddle.
Exactly.
Salty a battery hen, you know.
Yeah.
I want to piss on them if they're on fire.
Yeah, another thing you talk, you know, this artificial intelligence. I know a little bit about that myself too, you know. But the best example that, you know, I always find is that if you would imagine somebody to build a telescope, I'm sure I've said this before, you know, and use the most finest mechanical engineering, you know. I mean, you can take nanobots, whatever you want, you know, but make the most intricate piece of machinery that you can possibly find, right? The best of the best, you know. And then ask yourself if that telescope could actually ever see the way a sentient being can see, right? And then you know how far artificial intelligence will ever get, right? You know, it's never going to do that, right? It's never going to have visual perception. Yeah. Doesn't matter how good the mechanics are. So
exactly. You know, that's the thing. You know, they like to profess that they know consciousness and they know the start of the universe and they know this and they know that, but yet none of them can reproduce any of it. You know, if I claim that I know something about the substances of reality, you know, I can recreate it and I can demonstrate it, and you know, but these clowns get away with this bullshit of, oh, we know what consciousness is and we know how the universe started, and they go, show me. If you're that fucking clever, create a fucking universe. Pull out consciousness and show me it. You know? They can't.
No, they can't. No. This whole mind-body thing's still a huge open question, you know. That, you know, they hardly scratch the surface of it, you know. In fact, they don't even know how the brain works or how vision works, you know. I mean, you see them still arguing today in universities, you know, brain scientists, neurosurgeons, you know, opticians, you know, physicists, trying to explain how the actual visual perception works, right? And they still can't tell you, you know. They just tell you a lot of shite, you know. So,
Guessing games.
guessing games, right?
They see mechanical processes like a part of the brain lighting up, and you know, oh, because we can identify a part of the brain lighting up, we're just going to extrapolate and, you know, make up stories about what that actually is. Just because you see a mechanical process doesn't mean to say you know the intricate properties and values and what it actually is.
No.
You know,
It made a beep in my machine, so they think they've proven something, you know. But most of it's just conjecture, you know.
Yeah.
And most of the experimentation in visual perception is all, you know, in the psychological realms nowadays, you know. There's hardly any real, you know, how should I say, talk about how vision actually works from a geometrical standpoint, or, you know, the very fact that it's a ball itself in your eye, you know, and what that maybe means for curvature and all these things, right? It just gets totally avoided, all these topics, yeah.
Exactly. It's the same as the consciousness aspect. That gets avoided.
Right.
It's not important enough to look at. Where it's the forefront. It's the first and foremost. If you don't accept it and you don't acknowledge it, then everything that you're doing after that, you should be ignored.
Right.
You know, until you focus on that. But they just want to sweep it under the carpet. But for me, that's part of the manipulation. You know, they don't want to go there because of what it might reveal about us and who we are and stuff, you know. So we'll just play it down and ignore it. It's just steam, it's whatever, you know.
Yep.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yep, they'll try and sow confusion and, you know, whatever. I mean, I always think they hide truths within half-truths and truths and a half, you know, so you'll always find bits of truth in certain subjects, right? But generally it's just in there confused with the bullshit and, you know, just to keep everybody on their toes, you know. And we've had a couple of discussions about, you know, like you said just recently when flight came about, that, you know, that was probably, you know, they could cause a couple of wars to keep everybody focused in the same place, right? Instead of exploring. And I personally think that spectacles, you know, like wearing glasses, is also, you know, to do with, you know, keeping this visual perception and visible phenomena that we have, keeping people confused, you know, keeping their eyesight bad, because spectacles don't improve your eyesight, you know. Generally speaking, it gets worse and worse and worse, right? So, you know, there's that, yeah.
Aye, that kind of makes sense to me. You know, human beings were starting to get creative. They were actually understanding the substances in reality and putting it to use and inventing engines and craft and things that can fly. And, you know, it seems to me, if you look at it at the turn of the 1900s, all of a sudden within that decade, we've got the First World War.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, distract them. You know, these inventions that are creating, we'll just use it to bomb each other and fucking stay focused in this wee area, rather than, you know, let's use this and put it to use and start, you know, venturing to see what's out there and how far we can go. You know, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think they always bring these distractions on, especially. I mean, that's why the whole space bullshit's in there as well, right? Right from day one, right from the child indoctrination. You have to have that belief in space so that, you know, as we said before, it stops people exploring left and right. Huh? It just gets them dreaming of, you know, whatever that, you know, maybe in 100 years we'll be exploring, you know. Fucking hell. But, you know, in the meantime, just, you know, get on with your slave job, you know.
It's an outlet. It's an outlet for that natural will to explore and to keep finding out what's there. You know, if they can just curb that and offer you a wee substitute so that you've got an outlet to release that frustration and your imagination into Neverland, you know, that's fine. That's just enough to keep you appeased. You know.
And then trod on common sense, you know, that's the other one. We've said this enough times as well, you know. If you can get the people to not trust their common sense, then you can tell them any drivel. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, common sense is your first filter, you know, against, you know, people telling you bullshit, right? And if you can get past that filter, right, then you can tell people anything. So, you know, making people not believe in their senses is one of the first things that they teach you, basically, as well, right? You know, you've got visual phenomena, optical phenomena, all these things. You can't trust your eyes, you know. You're spinning, you just can't feel it, you know. All these kind of things are just there so that you let your guard down, and then after that, you know, it's like NLP, right? I always remembered one of these examples that somebody gave me of NLP was, you know, you need to tell 2 truths, right? And then the third time, basically, the people's guards are down and you can tell them anything, you know? And the 2 truths can be really simple. It can be something like, oh, so many people gathered here today, you know? And then everybody looks around and, yeah, there's a lot of people here. On such a beautiful sunny day, you know, everybody looks at the sky, it's nice and sunny the day. And that's you know, everybody's been told 2 truths and the next one's a lie, but nobody thinks anymore, right? Nobody filters it out anymore, you know?
So that tactic's always used, especially some of these professed truthers.
Right.
It's like 80-20 bait and switch, you know?
Right.
It's like, keep offering truths and things that people relate to, and then, you know, take them off down an avenue of nonsense.
Right.
But people have already invested their trust in you and their faith in you, that they get confused by it and they just accept it anyway or whatever, you know?
Right.
So.
Right. No, they love these associations, and it's easily done too, you know, because if they choose the representation of the actual claim, you know, they'll make a representation that's it's sneaky, right? You need to look at the words very carefully, what they're saying, what they're, you know, assuming in these things, and then they'll make a slight misrepresentation of the actual claim and go down the path of arguing that, staying away from the actual thing that we were talking about, right? So that, you know, you can't grab them either, right? You know, because they've got you debating nonsense, you know.
Exactly my point earlier on. You know, let's debate the optical phenomenon that we're seeing and ignore the substance that we're actually looking over that we know is level for that landmass to the other landmass. I mean, we'll just ignore that and wander off into debates about crap.
Yep. I mean, I think everybody in this channel already knows, since Waters level, these observations that you're making are, if you like, just icing on the cake. You don't really need them, right, to know that the world is fucking level, right? You know. But at the same time, you know, we need to go against these, you know, bullshit observations that they're telling us, right? Because even those daft explanations that they give us are contradicting what we see in reality, you know? So they can't even win with that one properly, you know? Yeah.
And that's when you'll see the cherry picking, you know. As I say, you get certain characters who are professing to have captured curvature on a bridge over something ridiculous like 10 miles. Or that's probably generous. Right. You know, so we're really living on a fucking basketball here, you know. But yet you get people like myself, you know, and Dan, who are getting observations 50 miles. Right. You get other people who've got observations of hundreds of miles. But never mind them. Yeah. You know, my wee cherry picked, you know, sophist image that I've managed to capture. That's it. That trumps everything. Right. It's just bullshit.
Right. I bought myself a wee book for Christmas, a Trivium. Again, it's been a while since I read it. I think I showed it to you. A nice wee book. I'd recommend everybody gets one somewhere, whether you download it and print it or read it as a PDF. You know. Yeah. Everybody should have a go at the book. Yeah.
There's some really good stuff online that people can access. They just type Trivium, and there's the things that I typed in as well. Obviously for my kids was Trivium education for children. There's a few good people out there that you can go and get stuff from, that you can, you know, start implementing it and offering it to your kids and stuff, and an easy way of teaching that. You know?
There's one good link I'd like to recommend to people as well. It's called 17thcenturymaths.com. And there's somebody's put all of Euler's books online. Euler in the 1700s taught a German princess maths and physics. And he did it in a very simple way that anybody could understand. So it's called 17th Century Maths, and it's Euler's Letters to a Princess, to a German princess, I think it was. It's really good stuff, you know. And he covers a whole range of topics and dissects a lot of Newtonian bullshit, and quite good.
I'm just typing it in right now. Excellent. Save that. I've got to reread it that later.
Right, it's like even for children, the way he wrote it was understandable.
Yeah. I had a wee video up there I was going to actually play. It was reflection and refraction for children, just so that I could show it to these clowns who keep trying to invoke it and what it actually means, because they're taking it and trying to apply it to things that are just not real,
Right.
So I wish your plans, you're away again soon, huh?
I am off tomorrow to Middle Earth, or whatever you want to call it. I'm on my travels again now for a month, so. But I'll tune in anytime I can while I'm on the road. So.
Cool. Aye. Well, we'll be back on a Saturday as well, so maybe midweek things happen. Depends. We'll need to see what happens. The backlash, and I'm sure there'll be some sophist crap. Maybe no. Maybe they'll just try and ignore it and hope that it goes away. But unfortunately for them, we're not going to get away. And I've got other people who are going to bring me observations of the same places and stuff at different times, different conditions. So,
aye. No, they'll try and ignore it. They'll keep bringing out these channels like what's that idiot Soundly? I mean, I think that guy must be one of the most densest globe truthers. I mean, that's an oxymoron in itself anyway, right? A globe truther. But all these, different observations that he wants to bring, as you say, they're all just cherry picked,
Yeah.
Just cherry picked nonsense,
Yeah.
And that's what they'll try and do. They'll keep bringing up their own stuff and ignoring the other observations. That's all they can do, right? Because if they engage, they're going to lose,
Exactly. But the thing about it is we've always said that, like, there's no exacting science for some of the optical phenomena that we're witnessing, so there's so many contradicting images and videos and observations that it's not going to resolve, so we have to come back to the substances again and accept that it doesn't matter, because if you're viewing over water, that from one point to the other, the water's level. I mean, as soon as you accept that, it gets easier, and then we can all start working towards an understanding of what's actually going on. If we can even get an exacting science on some of the optical phenomena, as you say, they don't even know what the fucking eye is properly, what it actually does. So
no. I mean, they just know that if it's not in your head, you don't have something called visual perception, right? But how it all works, how it fits together, how your brain is involved. I've seen so many explanations and none of them jive. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But tangibles do, right? Any practical thing with a real substance, something that is solid, has extension, right? Length, breadth, height, moves or resists, right? It's hard, soft, whatever, rough, smooth, has edges, that's real physical substance, that you can actually test and do stuff with, right? But just seeing something in your visual field, visual perception, and trying to rely on that as a proof makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, especially if you don't know how it works. So,
exactly.
What they're bringing to the table is just pish, And we've said this before, it's all they've got,
Yep.
I mean, they have to pretend that a mathematical two-sphere, right, which you have to look at from a distance and look down on, they have to pretend that mathematical two-sphere is a real three ball, right? A real space ball in some kind of, three-dimensional space. And it's not. It's just a mathematical sphere that you have to visualize like that. That's all they have, right? Even from a mathematical model, the three ball doesn't exist in space, right? It's just a representation of it in a mathematical model shown to you in a picture. That's all it is, Just cartoons is your favorite way of putting it, which is much more simple than what I'm trying to say, but it's the same thing. It's a cartoon,
Cartoons for retarded adults, Crazy. Aye. Well, listen, Gavin, I've been on here for hours, so
I know that, man. I'll just clink myself out.
I appreciate you jumping on. We quick chat.
Right, we'll see each other soon. Thanks, everybody. Keep at them.
Safe journey, man.
Yep. Cheers, everybody. Thanks, Marshall.
Take it easy, man.
Cheers, later, man.
Right. Well, that's me, people. I'm bummed out. Be back on Saturday, be open platform for everybody, phone as well. So anybody that wants to take part, by all means, just let us know. You can send the email to nocurve@gmx.com, and I'll give the number out again on Saturday when we fire up. So appreciate everybody coming. Share the observations as much as you like. You don't have to ask permission. You can mirror and share whatever you want. So get at it, people. Take it to them. Much appreciated. Marshall, Magumba, Jonah Worms, as always, thank you. Take it easy.